I had very little knowledge of what directing actually involved, not necessarily what it involved, but film production involved, the whole scale of film production. And I think what I learned over a long period of time, well, over the 2 years, was that each job is very demanding on set, and everyone specialises for a reason. And you learn to work with people in order to create something that you wouldn't be able to do on your own. And I think what the school gave me a chance to do was to specialise in each role by working on as an editor, as a camera assistant, as a producer. Let me specialise in each role for a term so that I knew what each role involved, and it helped me to understand what my future producer would need, what my future editor would need, how best to give them coverage, how best to sort out money issues from the beginning of pre-production all the way through to the end. I learned a lot about auditioning and the processes that you go through as a director, but also every side of it, making films tighter productions rather than rambling short films, cutting them down more and more to the bare essentials. And that came out through practice, but also through theory. The school gave me a chance to do things wrong and experiment with doing things the wrong way in an environment where I wasn't going to lose anything financially, in the sense that I wasn't working for someone else, and I wasn't losing someone else's money or messing up a paid job. I had a space where I could experiment with different camera angles, see what worked, what didn't work, experiment with different types of narratives, see what worked for short film, what didn't, and also try new things with actors, because sometimes you feel you have to play it safe if you're doing something that's paid. It's your first job doing something paid. You feel you have to play very safe and by the book on these short films and doing these LFS productions. I didn't feel I had to do that, and it was great to be able to experiment. I think the school puts less pressure on people to get into festivals and more emphasis on trying to get people to specialise in their field and become really good at doing what they do. There's less of a sense of let's make a finished product that we can send off to a festival, and more of a sense of let's really get into the nitty-gritty of what makes a film good, what works in the studio, what doesn't, what works out on location, how to organise a location shoot so that the shoot is actually effective. In the few days that you've got to make the film, there's a lot of pressure on yourself that you put on yourself to try and achieve a finished product. But even if you don't, you still learn about how to organise your shoot, how to structure your work in a way that gives you the best possible result. Often you've only got a few takes to achieve something great, and it teaches you to rehearse beforehand and therefore save money, which is really crucial, I think, because if people splash money on you, you won't learn anything, because you're not being forced to be creative, and I think that's really important. I've actually spoken to quite a lot of other students from other countries that are at film school, and we all share similar problems, but I think what they all wish they were doing is shooting on film. Even if it was 16mm film, they would be happy to do that. But the ability to shoot on 35 and then go from start to finish, including grading and post-work on 35, shows you how good your film can be. And of course, if you choose to shoot digital, that you should shoot digital for a reason and not just because it's there. Yeah, it's great to be surrounded by lots and lots of people from different countries, because everyone has a different way of working, everyone has a different mentality, but the most important thing is everyone has different backgrounds. And with those backgrounds, the films that we've seen, they all have different stories. We haven't all grown up in the same place, we don't all have the same problems, and I think it came across in all of the films that have come out this year. Everything I've seen has been different. The stuff from abroad fascinates me, because what's strange is that people deal with things in different ways, and we all come from different backgrounds, but the problems almost seem universal. So issues with race relations, family issues, people dying, issues with being accepted amongst peer groups when you're slightly different. All of these things affect every culture, but having that background from somewhere else lets you tell the story in a different way, and I think that's what I've seen with the people that I've worked with.